Welcome everyone who's watching and tuning in for our special conversation tonight with me. I'm Lisa Joy. I'm an integrated movement specialist and I work with performing artists and the community of fans that surrounds them. And this is John Lynn, an award-winning songwriter and performer here in the Washington, D.C. area that I've had the pleasure and privilege to work with for, you said 5 years. I think that
I
something
think
like
so.
that, maybe 3 or 4. And
Maybe
actually,
longer.
yeah, it could be longer. I think it's less, but I actually spoke to the person who connected us. She got our email today and said to give you a big old hug, Fanny. And
Oh,
I was
Fanny.
lucky. Yeah, I was lucky enough to inherit John as a massage client first from another massage therapist who moved to Kansas. And then we've been able to progress and move our relationship in many different directions, working obviously with massage and in hands-on, and then working with instrumentation and posture analysis and meditation and yoga. And then, as luck would have it, here we both were during the pandemic, and we moved our practicing and working together on the internet very seamlessly, which was quite nice. And we're here to discuss that and tell you a little bit about John's journey in his musical and movement life and how he has also changed and modified and now uses the internet as a tool to teach and connect and communicate and to heal. So, John, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
Hey, well, hi everybody. It's great to be here. Hi out there on the Facebooks. And thank you, Lisa, for inviting me to be part of this event and to talk about my experience of dealing with injuries and holistic health practices with you. I'm really excited to share what we've done and how it's helped me. And I am, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a singer, songwriter, musician here in the Washington, D.C. area, where I am part of the Americana Quintet After the Flood. And I also teach guitar, ukulele, performance development, and songwriting in here in DC, both in private practice and through Middle C Music. Shout out to Middle C in Tenleytown, DC's only remaining full service music store. It's kind of like Politics and Prose. It's like the last brick and mortar thing that's left that isn't Amazon. So go visit Middle C. And that's a little bit about me, and I'm just excited to be here.
Excellent. Yeah, thanks. I actually didn't know that about Middle C, and I had the experience. I'll give another shout out here. I went to Chuck Levin's last week, and I learned that they are the largest single location music store in the country. So that was pretty cool. And they're also just outside DC in Maryland. I had a great experience there as well, buying a new microphone. So,
They are
uh,
fabulous. Yeah,
yeah,
I bought a
that's
lot of stuff out there for the band. Really fun. Yep.
awesome. So, John, like I said, we had the pleasure of meeting as I was a massage therapist and I had taken over a studio and I inherited you as a client. And we, got right into it. You started coming in regularly and you were battling a shoulder injury that was kind of climbing down your arm a little bit and had some neck issues. So I wanted to just have you talk a little bit about that injury and share some of the work that we did to help you heal through that. And I just want to say that one of the things that I love about working with John in particular is that he is truly a student and a teacher of life, of music, of being a human, and of being an embodied human. And so John really has done a lot to care for himself, for your body, and you have a great understanding that your body is in fact the instrument, and the mind that goes with the body are the instrument that actually plays music. And that is an essential and core component of working together, that I like to work with people who already understand that. And so I think when you share about how you approach this, this will become apparent for everyone.
Yeah, I think that to play music over the long term, especially as a professional, I think your whole body has to be well, right? I mean, it's like, and there's so many different parts of it, in terms of like carrying your gear to gigs, and standing up for long periods when you're performing, or sitting down for long periods if you're performing, or teaching. Um, Guitarists get a ton of repetitive use of shoulders and arms and hands. And so injury is really common for musicians. And I've had several injuries, and the shoulder injury that you're talking about, Lisa, like it had a bunch of different manifestations. I was having some tingling in my fingers and my wrists a little bit. Um, I was having stiffness behind my shoulder blades, especially on the left hand side. Um, I was having a lot of pain in my forearms. You remember that? Like I was having a ton of forearm pain and stuff. And so, you know, Lisa worked, with me on a number of different levels, where massage was certainly one of the things that we did on a regular basis before the pandemic, mostly, which was certainly helpful. Um, but the other things that I was able to incorporate sort of into a kind of wellness routine, I guess, is she taught me a bunch of, you're right here. You taught me a bunch of skills. I'm not going to refer to you in the third person.
I know.
I guess it's because
You
you're
got
not
that.
right here with me. You're there, but you, Lisa, taught me like a distinct set of really useful skills that were like one of the things that kind of really stands out is how manageable that they were in terms of like the amount of time it took, and also the effectiveness that they really created a lot of benefit for me. And I'd put in that category like learning how to do nerve glides to help with numbness and tingling in the arms and shoulders was huge. Um, Using a tennis ball to roll out my shoulder blades, my trapezius muscles, up and down the spine a little bit, around the shoulder blades, around the deltoid. Is that what that
Yeah,
muscle is?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, good.
deltoid,
Around the
good.
deltoids, and then sort of like a full and around the collarbone, sort of all the way around the shoulder girdle here. And so I felt like just these simple practices, like I have a tennis ball right over there in my office. It's sitting right there. I have one upstairs. When I go to my mother-in-law's house at the shore, I got one up there. And it literally takes me 5 minutes to roll out my entire shoulder cage all the way around. And the nerve glide, same thing, like 5, 6 minutes at the most. And then I do my wrist rolls and my hand rolls around this way. And it's just a very manageable routine that kind of keeps these joints moving. And the nerve glides really had a good effect on my mobility. And there's nothing worse than feeling like tingling or weakness in your hands. It's just, ugh, I hated it, And so that's sort of a, long-winded way of saying, Lisa, you taught me a lot of very helpful, distinct skills that helped me. So.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad that I did. And one of the things that I think you brought up that's really important is about the efficiency and the time it takes to do these things. So I think there's this general conception that we all have that there's not enough time. There's not enough time in the day for whatever, XYZ. And then there's no way there's enough time to take care of ourselves. And again, I think this goes back to this knowledge, this truth and understanding that you've got to take care of yourself. That if you are going to be using your body to do your job, your livelihood, or your love or your passion, it's got to be functioning. And if you have pain that's distracting you away from being able to do that, that's taking your mind, that's literally hurting, or that you feel weakness, like, oh my gosh, I can't actually physically perform. And, you've gone in and out of having moments like that where things were going on, that you just gonna have to find the time. But being able to do something in 5 or 6 minutes, and maybe to stack a few of those things together or to disperse them throughout the day. And I love that you said that you have a tennis ball up in your mother-in-law's, because I recently took a trip to Colorado, and where my friend lives out there, they don't have like Amazon delivery 2-day thing. They're kind of out there. And so I actually flew with one of my extra foam rollers out there so that she could have one. So the next time that I go there, not just it's just for her and for me. And I have some station these little things. And also that the tools that you needed were very small, something like a tennis ball or maybe a small band, and just your body and the space to move around. And so I think that that's all important to note, that you can simply do these things with your own body, with a wall or the ground, or maybe a tiny tool, and that it can be very effective in a very short period of time. I also, I would just want you to talk a little bit about you and your approach to your overall care and approach to your craft, and how you have a pretty robust, some people might say, but a morning routine. And I know that we've worked on some breathing and meditative exercise, but I'd love for you to just share with everyone, how you, John Lynn, do this, how you get to keep, you have a full roster of students. We didn't even mention, I mean, you mentioned teaching, but you are a full-time professional musician. And
Yeah.
part of your professional work is not just playing your instruments, but how you care for yourself in the morning. Because I think this would be very helpful for people.
Yeah, I just want to echo too what you said about um, the body, like interacting with an instrument, or like I sing, right? So the body is my instrument. I happen to play the guitar and the ukulele with my body, but where my body touches that instrument is where the music is going to happen. So it is a fully embodied thing. And the culture doesn't really support embodied wellness all that much. We're supposed to be like little machines or something. And so it's really important to have, for me, some ways of kind of reminding myself that I have a body and that I am inside a body. Here I am in this body. And so like most of my practices you were talking about center around those types of things. First thing I'll say is that my practices are imperfect. Like I am not a perfect practitioner of my daily routines. I have ebbs and flows in my daily routines. Sometimes I try to do too many things. Sometimes I'm not doing enough things. Sometimes A, B, and C morning routines are going along fine, and C and D not going. So it's kind of a matter of paying attention and balance. I'd say my self-care, I would broadly term these as, or broadly put these in the pool of self-care for me. One of the main tools I use is writing. So I get up in the morning, and I'll do my morning pages, which if any of you have done The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, you'll know what that is. It's 3 pages of long handwriting in the morning. I'm not currently doing that practice right now. I'm taking a break from it. I am doing a meditation practice right now. And I tend to do a number of different kinds of meditations. Sometimes I incorporate the breathing techniques that Lisa taught me. And I feel like this is one of your strengths, Lisa, is again, it's not just like you were basically my massage therapist when we started, but then it quickly became apparent to me that there was a lot more angles to how you were caring for people than just through massage. And, you taught me a lot of different breathing exercises, and I use those a lot. I tend to use them every night before while I'm in bed. And there's one where, you breathe in, you hold your breath, you breathe out, you hold your breath, right? I use that one. That one really helps me kind of, even when I think I can't relax, I'll do it anyway, and it helps me relax anyway. And that's the other thing about routines is doing them even when you think they're not going to help.
Mhm.
Um, and that includes exercise for me, which is also another one of my routines that goes mostly, but not always. Um, and then the other one that I almost habitually do now is um, the one where you breathe in, and I imagine the breath going uh, along the curves of my spine and through the energy centers of the body, the chakras. Now, I always joke that I'm from Illinois. I grew up in middle class, like Republican family, if you can believe it, from Illinois, and we didn't have chakras, but now I think I do, so it's kind of cool. But so like I imagine, I'm a little embarrassed, my chakras and everything, and like focusing maybe on one particular one where the breath might linger for a second, and then it's really very kind of a visualization process of visualizing the breath and the energy going up and down the spine. And I feel like that's helped me in general with anxiety. Helps me if I'm like, again, like with sleeplessness, helps me with performance anxiety. I do a lot. I'm in front of people a ton because I teach, I host recitals, I perform. So um, I'm I'm out in front a lot, and so um, even though I'm very extroverted, I have a lot of anxiety about that. And so just getting in my body and being present any way I can. So that me that that includes writing, which was a routine that pre-existed our relationship. But you know, I'd say what I've learned from you has enhanced my my morning routines in terms of meditation, in terms of specific breathing exercises. And then too, like I might do my foam rolling or my tennis ball in the morning as sort of like a little physical therapy break for myself, just kind of a little bit of something. And what you said at the beginning, I think I'm learning this in all areas of my life and my music practice, in almost every area of my life, that if I can dedicate maybe 10 or 15 minutes to something and have it be okay and not perfect, that actually the benefit I get from that is really tremendous. So that's yeah, I'm an imperfect practicer, but I recognize the benefit when I do it.
I think that that is so wonderful the way that you stated that. And we're all imperfect practitioners and we're all perfect exactly as we are. And you know
Well,
that
there you go.
yeah. So, and that's fine. I mean, me too. I have daily practice and sometimes it's better and more and sometimes it's less. But I think what is really important is that you have gotten to a point where you realize that even if you're not sure if it's going to work, that if you just do it for just a couple of minutes, that the benefits seem to just be ever flowing. They just come, they happen. You feel calmer, you feel better, you fall asleep, or you loosen up your shoulder and you are more ready to play. And that has really been something that I've worked with people a lot, and a place where I've grown to, because I always want to, like, yeah, we could do this and we could do that and we could do more and we could do more, and that's for myself and of course for other people. But the truth is that it only takes a moment to change your life, right? One single breath can change how you feel. It will change the chemical reactions that are going on, your hormonal balance, your nervous system will change, and that will have a physical effect on your body. It can have a mental effect, it can have an emotional effect, literally with one breath. And what's been really neat uh, with working with John, with you, is that we've gone on the journey together with one another. And so as we were in the pandemic, and we thought, oh, we probably shouldn't stop doing some of the things. And so we met one-on-one for a while, which is what I did with many of my clients. We just started meeting over Zoom. But then we wanted to figure out how to package something where you could have access to it to have a little bit also more of the longer practices. And so John loves yoga, and John had come to some yoga classes with me pre-pandemic. But as a musician, just the pressure on hands and wrists and forearms, where you had already had issues, and what can often be required, the repetitive motions of yoga for the shoulders, are not always so great in combination with the repetition and posture that's needed to play instruments, especially instruments that are right here in the front of your body. And so
Yep.
what we did is we worked together, and I love collaboration, and John is a great collaborator. We worked together to figure out what were the exact things that you needed in those practices. Like, you wanted to have the yoga feel, you wanted to have the feeling of sun salutations, you wanted to have that energetic component, you wanted to have strength, but you didn't want to hurt yourself. And so we were able to create a first routine, which you used for quite some time. And then we created an alternate routine, which was longer and more strength based as you got stronger and as a lot of those things fell away, some of the shoulder stuff. And that is a really neat thing that I felt great to do and to do with you, and is something that I've been working on in combination with other folks. So I wanted to share my screen a little bit. And John, please feel free to chime in as I'm preparing here the screen share.
Oh, okay, sure.
About that. Yeah.
um, yeah, I found we adapted well to the pandemic, and the yoga routines, that the short one that we started with, I did it yesterday actually again, because again, I was a little out of my yoga routines for a minute. So I went back and did the first one. And it reminded me too that I'm not on my hands in that in that routine hardly at all, a little bit here and there. And you always gave, I edited the recording, and it's, so it's, I always do it with you. It's, you're recorded and everything.
Yeah.
And I notice you always give me alternatives so every time I do the routine, I'm reminded of the alternatives that I have to protect any joints that might be feeling not so good. So.
Well, that's great. And that is something that I always strive to do in all of my recordings that I make, whether I make them for groups or individuals. And I'll talk a little bit about how that actually is the same in most instances, are going to have options for what you might be feeling that particular day. And that goes for breathing and meditation, that goes for physical activities. So John is one of our beta members. I created this thing called the Musicians Membership back in November and ran it with 10 folks who were open and willing to try it out and see what it's like. And I want to just note that what it has in it is a number of different video on demand libraries. And they're featured here. One we have called the Green Room Sessions, one's called the Van Companion. We have a musicians media library. I've included some of my core coursework, this Breathing 101 class. And then there's this neat thing called the content request form that you get to fill out if you're part of the membership. And what we've been saying about, having short practices available to do, these 5 to 6 minutes or 5 to 10 minute practices, that is most of what is in here. There are also longer practices that you can find, but the majority of things are short things you can do together, and you can stack them, right? So if you have longer periods of time, you have 30 minutes and you want to work on a few things, you can. So for instance, we have the Van Companion here, and you can see that there's a menu over here, and there's units. So we have things to do while you're the driver. If you are driving, whether that's a car or a bus, or you're in a train or plane, or you're the director. It's also, we have different things that we need when we're headed out to perform or when we're getting home. So there's a whole section called Arriving at Your Destination. And we have videos that are designed to help you energize, 2-minute videos, 3-minute videos, things to help you calm down and assist in falling asleep. These are all things that you can literally do in a very small environment. So you could be in a moving vehicle next to other people or not. You could be home. You could be in another space. And then we have other things. So ways to work on your neck. Again, this one's 5 minutes. This one's 9 minutes. Everything's labeled with how many minutes it is, 2 minutes, shoulders, fingers and hands, wrists and forearms, lower back, hips, all things again that you can do inside a moving vehicle or not, or in a small seated position. And we have green room sessions. These have been really fun. I made some of these myself, and I was lucky enough to make some of these with other performing artists in the DMV area over this second year of the pandemic. And same thing here, everything is divided up and labeled. So these would be for warm-ups. Some of them are a little longer. They also tell you what's in it. They'll tell you if you can sit or stand, if it's more for upper body, if it's more about focusing on the back and hips. Like I said, some of these, this is squaring the circle. These ones are with dirty grass players. So you get other bodies and other perspectives and other fellow musicians to hang with and see what it's really like. There's some good, lively commentary in there to keep you feeling real about it. We have some vocal warm-ups as well. And we have post-performance cool down. We have breath work. Again, these are all designed for you to be in the spaces you actually wind up in. So small green rooms, or not really so much of a green room, or there's some outdoors, right? If festival season's coming. And this is all, again, labeled. This one's 4 minutes. This one's a little longer if you want to do a 20-minute session. This one's specifically for focus. And then we took all of the videos, every video that's in every library and every unit, and we dumped them into a library. So if you're more of a search kind of person, or you don't want to like sift through units, every single video that's in this membership is also just in a library, and you can search a variety of ways. You could search by length. So you can literally search 1 minute, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 4 minutes. And everything that's 4 minutes. If you're like, I need to do something for 4 minutes, and here it is. This is from the Van Companion. This is from our general library. This is also in the Van Companion. This is something that you would do at home. Okay, so you can search for it that way. You can also search by style. If you're looking for breath work techniques, you can look in the that's breath work and 4 minutes. But if we took out the length, now you get a whole slew of breath work exercises. And maybe you want to do breath work for 15 minutes, and you can search that way, and this will give you a library of videos to work through. So that's how we set it up in the musicians membership. It's very accessible. It's optimized for the phone as well, and we created some instructions. So if you're like not sure how to use it on your desktop or your phone, we have these little instructional gifts for you that'll tell you exactly how to use our software. This is a new upgrade. I don't think, John, you know about this yet, because we just made this upgrade just in the past 2 weeks. And we also have some written instructions for you as well. You get email support through the membership. I'll suggest videos and I'll let you know what's new. And what's new is actually decided by the people who are members. So every month, if you join now, as we're officially launching this new membership to the world, you get to request content. So you can fill out a form, and it's going to ask you essentially, what do we need help with this month? What's going on? You can tell us as much detail as you want about it. When's it occurring? And then I'm going to ask you, when are you likely to do it? Are you likely to do it when you're traveling? Are you likely to do it before you go to bed or when you wake up? And you'll get a personalized video made for you to address what you need right now. And then that's going to get shared across the platform. So if you're, saying, okay, I need something for performance for my fingers, we're going to make you a video, probably with fingers and hands and forearms. You'll tell me how many minutes you think you want to spend, and then we're going to add it to the green room sessions, and it's going to go in here in the pre-performance warm-ups. It'll also get put into the Musicians Media Library. So someone could literally type in fingers and it's gonna come up. And of course, that's the 15 minutes. We'd be doing a shorter one, but yeah, so you can see, oh, we gotta get rid of these little search functions. Now there you go, some finger videos there for you. So that's how the Musicians membership works, and that's how the personalization works right now. I am also opening the doors to like a more robust coaching program. I had it on hold, but I'm gonna release the wait list. So if anyone's interested in the next 2 months and starting to work one-on-one together, that's also an option. And you can find that here, same site, the Presence in Action program is what it's called. And so if you're thinking, man, I really am listening to this and I need like all the personalization that I can get because I got some stuff going on, we can certainly talk about that. If you're interested in checking out or learning more or anything, or you just want to have an initial chat, you can go over here on the Active Potential site. There's a Musicians Hub here, and you can go ahead and go to the individual coaching button. This would also be good if you're interested in the membership, and you can just book a call with me. And I'm happy to hop on a call with anyone and chat for a little while. You just fill out a little form and we'll have a call, and happy to talk to anyone about what's going on. If you're interested in working together in person, I just started doing some festivals and venue work again. So again, you can connect me through these different options here on our site. And we have a free group on Facebook. So if you're listening and tuning in live, you can join the Holistic Healing for Musicians community. You can see it if you're on the Active Potential page right now. You can click to the group button, or you can type in these words and it will come up. And there's around 50 free videos in there as well, divided by areas of the body and some mindset and breath work there. So if you want to start in Facebook land where we are right now, you're welcome to do that. And I know, John, you were kind of bumping around and looking at some of the videos. So I don't know if you have anything you want to share or say, but I'm gonna turn it back over to you.
Yeah, it's so cool to see how the whole program has grown from when you first conceived it. It's really amazing to see all the content that is on there, and it just reminds me of all the things that we've done together. I've been more, I would say, of a personal coaching client of yours, I would say, although I've certainly been on the website and can see its value for sure. But I think the benefit of the Musicians membership is that a lot of the benefit, for example, that I've received from the personal coaching relationship that we've had, is available to people at like a reasonable cost, and all these videos. And it's just like when I see like those little 4-minute breathing things, it's like, oh yeah, that's so useful. Like it really is useful. And so I think it's really cool to see how it's grown.
Well, that's great. And John, and I will say this for everyone who's listening, you can all thank John and his personal journey for, being a muse for me and developing a lot of this content. That's why the videos seem recognizable to you, is because, many of the things that we've developed are there. And that's kind of the neat thing. So, because this is still new too, there's an opportunity for me to continue personalizing this and really giving you exactly what you need in it. And that, like you said, at a very, at a nominal fee. And we've designed this and set it up as a membership. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about why a membership versus a course or just meeting one-on-one and having a few sessions is so great and so useful, because consistency, just like practicing anything, consistency is the key to success. And, if you are a musician and a working musician or an athlete or someone who practices as an artist and you have a craft, then you already know this. You know that you have to practice. You know you have to do it on repeat in order to become more efficient and to get better. And I, in my working life, have just I will talk to anyone. I love working with people. I love meeting new people, and I love having that amazing spark and that connection in the moment. And it's cool if we never see each other again. But for me, like what turns me on and keeps me going is having that consistency, is being able to share in the joy and the journey of my students' growth, and to um, play a small role in assisting in that growth, and then having that be consistent over time. Like John, I think you were discussing with me the other day that you just got good at playing the guitar, which of course you were good at it before, but there's this level, right? There's these moments where we level up and we level up and we level up. And those leveling ups don't just randomly happen. They happen. They feel sometimes like, wow, and now I'm this, or I can do this, but it's not magic. It actually comes from consistency and practice. It comes from doing it on repeat. And so this membership was really crafted and designed to support you consistently, to support you every time before you play, if you want to, and every time you get in the car or get out or go to bed, so that you can eventually, yeah, sure, learn these routines on your own. But also, if you don't feel like having to think about it, you can just hit play and follow along. And that is so nice. And I know as an entrepreneur and as an artist, when you have to be the director and the designer of your life all the time, it is really nice to give that over to someone or something else and to just follow along. And that's the beauty of having on-demand content. And I was very resistant to all of these ideas for many years, and I feel very grateful that this grand pause in life gave me the opportunity to create this, and that now it's here and it's continuously growing as a result of you, John, and our other members and our future members to come in and be a part of this sharing and connection and learning and healing of your body, your instrument.
Yeah, I think it's important. You know, so much of any practice is just showing up, and this kind of makes it easy. You can show up on your own time, and just I think it really is for me. Um, all these little tidbits, that I've been gathering over time, like you said, in general, I'm having fewer injuries than I used to now because um, I am generally, I know kind of, even if I notice pain starting to happen, I know more what to do, you know? And like, we were talking about foam rollers. Like I have a foam roller here. There's one upstairs. There's one at my mother-in-law's. They're everywhere. I got foam rollers all over the joint, and it's because it works, you know?
Because it works, and that's such a great
We
statement.
timed it. Remember we timed it? It was like, because I was like, I don't have time to foam roll. And you're like, we're going to time it. And so I think it was like 9 minutes or 8 minutes.
It was under 10. It was under 10.
Yeah. I was like, oh, all right, I can probably find 8 minutes.
Yeah. And it's so funny that you say that about the timing, because in creating this content, I've really, there's introductions to every section. There's like some nice words and little videos that introduce you to the sections where I can get into the philosophy and talk, because that is my nature, to want to to just give you all of the knowledge that I just want to just impart it back to you. It's not mine. It's just, we're learned and we're filters. But I also understand that if you want to be supported in 2 minutes, you can't have all that philosophy and all that extra in there. And so, yeah, when it comes down to like, okay, time it. Yeah, how quickly? Hi, how you doing? Here's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna foam roll, or we're gonna breathe, or we're gonna do this stretch. And that's how the videos are. The videos are set up so like the explanation is separated, so that as you continue to use the videos and you want to go in and do it, you can just hit play. And if you want to learn about the why, you can hit a play and another thing, or read at some point, but they're separated. And A new feature that's coming that we're just exploring are playlists. So one of the things that I might start doing when people request content, because sometimes people have a neck to shoulder to elbow to finger thing, right? That's a thing. It's a thing that can happen because they're all connected. We're going to stack some of these videos together. So if that's what's going on for you, I might say, oh, here's a playlist. And so that might be a new way to get content. And then you can, follow through the playlist of those activities until they make you feel better as well. So there's, it's been neat to time it out. But yes, you can foam roll in under 10 minutes. And we know that that helps. And you can do your wrist rolls and breathing techniques and your calming breathing and all of these things. Almost everything in here is, like I said, under 15 minutes. If it's not, it's all labeled. And the one thing we're adding moving into summer is we're going to add some cardio based videos. That's like the newest thing coming up. So we've had a number of requests for that this past month. And so we're going to start doing some cardio routines that you can do, again, in a small space without having to need equipment and without having to need to disturb people next to you or close by. That's definitely the key, especially for those folks who are in bands and orchestras and in ensembles and that may or may not be traveling. It's definitely about finding some alone time and some space. And so there's definitely some space creation that you can get from the videos here. Well, John, this has been a really great conversation. If there's anything else you'd like to share, some wise John Linnisms for our fellows. And I did say I don't see any questions here, but if anyone who's still on our guests, if you want to ask a question, I think you can do it right here in the Facebook Live, and we should see it. But yeah, any final words you want to share, John?
Yeah, one last thought I was thinking when you were just sharing is that I think one of the ways I experience your giftedness is the way you listen really well. Like you really, the way I think that you create this individualized content is by listening to people. And I like the way that you've built that into the site with the content request, and that a lot of the material comes from input from actual human beings with their actual problems, not just you kind of thinking, well, this might be helpful, like, although I'm sure you have plenty of that insight too, but I don't know. I just feel like that is, that's really where a lot of your giftedness is kind of intuiting how to help people with their physical kind of psychic and artistic issues, so yeah, I'm really glad to help out, and thanks for having me here tonight. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, John, and thanks for saying those nice things. I appreciate that. And
True.
I really, again, we've talked about this a little bit. And if you want to read, John did write a really beautiful, nice testimonial that is also up on our website. And you can check out all of his words and a little bit more about some of his other injuries and things we've gone through. But the idea of collaboration is really important to me. And even in the free Facebook group and in a number of the things that I did just moving into the pandemic was how can we create community around wellness and around healing, and how can we help one another to heal? And listening is really key. And again, if you play music and you play music with other humans, then listening is also really important. It's really important for working together, breathing together, playing together, and to create. And, I see the world, where I end and you begin and where the world is in between us. I really see that as all one thing, one entity, and we're all playing parts and roles. And so I wanted this content to be reflective of actual humans' needs, right? Why would I want to spend time making something that wasn't going to be useful? That would seem like a grand waste of time. So yes, everything in here is if it's not based on your exact needs at this moment yet, it came from the needs of others and the requests of others and the actual injuries and experiences and like you said about psychic issues. A lot of the breath work and meditation work is really about getting into that depth and that level of our beingness and our humanness. And oftentimes our physical experience is just a manifestation or manifestations of that. And that's why this membership does not just address the body, because we are not just bodies. That's just not how we are. So this is to help with that and to help manage energy, which is incredibly needed to be a performer and to be on. I think Johnny talked about being on a lot as a teacher as well. So thanks for that. Thanks for all of your insight. Thanks for our listeners for coming and hanging out with us live. And if anyone has any questions or thoughts, please, you know how to message me here on Facebook. I know you know, because we're on Facebook here together tonight. Hopefully this video will get edited and put out a few more places, but I'm glad we did it live. So yeah, thank you so much, John.
Oh, it's been so fun. And if anybody wants to check out my music, you can find it www.johnlinmusic.com. On YouTube, it's John Lynn Music. And on Instagram, John Lynn Music. So yeah, I've got some video. I'm putting up a video every week. So if you want to see some content, see some songs, see me musing about the arts, see my gray hair, I have much.
The creative process, the writing process, and the John is a great sharer of the truth of his journey. So, just putting out there what it is. Yeah, which is awesome.
One day at a time.
Yeah, one day at a time, for sure. So John Lynn Music, Active Potential, johnlynnmusic.com, activepotential.com. Very simple, easy. We got those premium websites on our side. And love to see y'all soon out in Facebook land and out in the physical world too. All right.
Thanks, Lisa. It's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Great to see you as always.